Okay, it's Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. We'll walk up and down Broadway. Well, not up and down, we walking down. We're on 87th Street at Broadway. We may head to Times Square. Hello, Lily. I just got on, not even a minute in. Hope this thing don't cut off on me like it did at the Halloween Day Parade. Did it twice. I tried to use the other phone. Happened again. I was like, I had to do a video. Like a 4K video, so maybe have some luck today. I'm not around a big crowd. Just a straight walk. It's a little windy, but not bad so far. It's like 66 degrees. It's during rush hour at the moment. Not many people running around. It's still early for rush hour. I did a high def video yesterday for like an hour. Parade was running good until it started to rain. After a while, people just started leaving because they got too, it started to build up heavy. So you can check that video out if you want. Got some good footage too. I was surprised. I was around a bunch of people. I mean, they was ridiculous. Pushing to get a spot. I was like, I can't believe this guy. This guy was probably older than me. Talking about he can't see. You gotta get there early. How you doing, Joe? I'm using the red phone, so you know that's 13. Ran my battery down on my other phone, so I couldn't use it. I ain't had no luck today. I mean, yesterday trying to do some video. So I got until the 11th of this month, and then I'm gonna cancel the Verizon bad luck phone. I don't know. I'm gonna try T-Mobile. So I've been having good luck with T-Mobile. I gotta talk to Fernando. Like, how is he getting... I remember when Action Kid was having problems with his phone. I think it was 2 years ago. I wonder how he got rid of those problems. Like the problems I'm having now. I don't get it. Trying to duck all this scaffolding. It's just insane. It's on both sides of the street. take another street down. Looking to walk Broadway. I had a job over here. People call that the last minute. Need my fish tank clean. I haven't gone there in months. I can't even remember the last time I was there. Dog barking at me. I'm like, what? I don't know. Some people need to get those fish tanks. That's nothing but a TV. Just go on YouTube and watch a fish tank from there. Watch a whole ocean. Man, I can't duck the scaffolding. It's insane. Cross the street to get away from it, and I get into a smaller one. And that one is a whole block. Yeah, this year they closed Washington Square Park, so they had it open, and then when people started to leave and go to the parade, then they closed the park. I couldn't even walk through, so I had to. Everybody went to Union Square, but I didn't go because it kept raining. When I got all the way to the ferry, that's when I saw somebody else doing the video and it started to lighten up, but it was still raining. If you look at my video from yesterday that I put up today, you'll see that all the lights look starry looking, like I got a star filter on it. I used to go to this Barnes and Nobles. What? I wonder if they closed. No, they still open. They're probably gonna do the shelves and everything over. Yeah, that parade was cool though. I wish it didn't rain. That rain just spoiled everything. I'm gonna go down this block real quick. This is the area hardly anybody covers. Hey Fernando, how you doing? I gotta talk to you one of these days. Oh man, having all these difficulties with my phone. I'm gonna change plans. Yeah, man. I saw Fernando walking in the parade. Yeah, we saw each other. Hey, and all that kind of stuff. Insane. Seemed like everybody beating the buffering except me. Isn't that something? I'm on West End Avenue. This is the area people hardly ever come through. I'll call this area, if you know what I mean by this, the Odd Couple. Because this area looks like the Odd Couple. If you remember that comedy series that used to come on in the 70s, I'm pretty sure they still show it now. But this area is like that. I'm pretty sure Joe knows what I'm talking about. Oscar and Felix. So when they come out the building and everything, it looks like this area, like up and down this block. I'm not sure if it's really this area. Not 100% sure. This is Western Avenue. So this is like 1 block away from whatchamacallit, Broadway. I did a few jobs over here in this area. Worked on a tank over here, and the guy had this whole floor done. What I mean by the whole apartment. So they weren't living in it the time I went. They were just having the whole place renovated. Then he was installing a fish tank, which was going to be a reef tank. And I think it was like 65 gallons. He was gonna put like 2 of them in there. But the way he was having the place done, I think I'm not far up enough to where he's at, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, this area is like, forget it. You can afford this, you good money. Yeah. Oh man. Look at that blue sky, man. That's insane. Miss the summer. I think this whole week is going to be pretty nice. I don't know. For now, then you might want to go to the. I'm pretty sure you're going to go. You're going to have the marathon. I think it's like every year. It starts in Staten Island and runs through all the boroughs. I don't know if I'm going to go for sure. See as we go. See how the weather is. But they start so early in the morning. I'm talking 7 o'clock. Thing is, I can get up. I just don't like to stay up. Getting up is not the problem. Staying up is. I like to lay around and chill. As long as I've been living on Staten Island, I don't know Staten Island that well because I don't do anything out there. Get out the street. I'm looking for Felix and Oscar. The photographer is Felix. Oscar is the sports writer, the journalist. I did a video around this area last year. That's what I did. But I don't know. We don't recognize it, really. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that entrance. Look at this building. Insane. I don't think they'll let me walk through. She tell them I got a fish tank to work on. No, you don't. Get away from here. You know they'll start tripping. Oh man. Yeah, that rain ruined the parade for me.
Appreciate the talk.
It didn't come down hard, but it was enough to make you want to leave. I guess that's what it was. I'm gonna head back on Broadway. I'm gonna go one more block and hit Broadway, because that's what I originally wanted to do. I couldn't help the Oscar Madison and Felix Unger neighborhood. Those guys was funny. That's those pre-war buildings. No elevators in them. I mean by pre-war, these buildings are probably over 100 years old. Easy. Like before World War II. That's about the age of most of these buildings. They're probably before the 1940s. And probably more like 1920s or probably before then. This is when I walk the street. I'll walk in the middle of the street if I'm walking against the traffic. Oh man. There's no wind at all around this area. All that's gonna change when the weather starts to really change. I'm talking winter time. These are the best looking buildings around. Old buildings, and they modernize it, put new interior in it. That's what makes them really nice. That's what I was talking about. The guy was having this apartment renovated. It was a good sized apartment at that. Kids' room was big. Everything. Around 2008, 2009, I went to the Dumbo section. I might do that this weekend, I don't know. And had to work on I think the tank was like 150 gallons. Somebody broke the tank. Now that apartment was huge. The place was so big, like the ceiling, I think it went like a extra floor up. Now her son, she had two sons. No lie, she had a hammock. The kid had a hammock in his bedroom, plus with the bed, and each kid had their own, room. The bathroom was big enough to be a bedroom. That was insane. Only reason I know, because I had to work on the fish tank. That took me forever. I had to drain it, reset it up, like all the rock work, and then fill it up. Yeah, that was a headache. I was there for quite a few hours, and then had to come back the next day. Because first we had to remove the old tank, then put in a new one. So I might go in the Dumbo section on the weekend. Like I said, it's supposed to be pretty decent weather. And what's so wild was she had Marilyn Monroe's maiden name, like first and last name. I can't remember the name, but I remember that was her name. That was her original name. Marilyn Monroe had a made-up name. Funny how things work. She was like 50 years old at that time. I was what, like 42? Oh, the Beacon Theater. Came here like twice for a bodybuilding show years ago, back in the early 2000s, I think it was. Mid 2000s. This is another building that I like. This bank. Beautiful building. I used to have to work on a tank in there. They had the tank in the wall. I ain't been in there in a long time. Quite a few years now. Oh, at the Beacon? Oh yeah. I never went to a movie at the Beacon. Like I said, just to work on the fish tank. I mean, the bodybuilding show thing. I don't see nobody I recognize. Yeah. I don't see nobody I recognize. What? That place was nice and big when I used to work on a fish tank. I don't even think they still did, because they was trying to sell a place when I was there. Worked there for a few years, and then all of a sudden they was looking to sell a place. That's why they shut the tank down. I can't believe that's a bank. Yeah, the temperature is nice and everything right now. I work in a building on this block, not this building, but it overlooks. Yeah. The guy's tank that I work on, he said don't move in that building. He said he used to live there. It seems like they're always working on it. Can't seem to get it together. You see how old those buildings are. You can imagine what it costs to renovate them. It's down this block. You got a terrace that runs, well, not the length of the building, but I can see this side. Everywhere I'm showing the camera, this is what I can see from his balcony. Plus that building. It kind of wrap around the building. At least that end of the building. You just gotta lean out the terrace in order to see this side of town. I can see all the way down that block. And like I said, this whole area. Man, when I work on this fish tank, it's kind of a headache because he got so much light coming from every direction.
Are you at your hole?
So mainly it's just algae cleaning. I told him, look, we can do this and that, but he don't want to lose the fish. It's one of those type of things. I did quite a few jobs around here. I can't believe it. That's the thing I like about my job. Get to move around, not just stay in one spot. And you get to meet different people all the time. That type of thing. So that when the winter time comes around, man, that's when it becomes a headache for me. Those days you don't want to go outside, and you gotta do it. You know, it's those rainy, cold days, snowy, cold, freezing days. It's a beautiful building, man. Oh man, forget it. They had a papaya spot where they closed it down. It used to be in the village on 8th Street, and they closed that one down. They had a few spots of the papayas. And you know, when we hit these recessions, man, that's who you know. That's how you know if your business is doing well or not. If you can stay in business. When times are tough, like recession proof. That's how my job is. That through 2008 recession, around that time, we were shutting down tanks all the time. I was like, jeez, shit, I thought we was going out of business. Cause I was working at Petco. And the guy was like, because I used to send him people all the time, because we didn't have all of that stuff people was asking for. I said, yo, go to this spot. And I discovered that spot where I'm at now from going to the Javits Center, going to car shows, pretty much all kinds of shows, you know, car shows, motorcycle shows, you name it. I go to the Javits for it. And that's how I discovered the place where I'm at now. And I've been there ever since 2008. The guy was like, when you gonna come work with us? And I was like, give me some time, man. It took me a year before I actually, you know, signed on. I was just trying to get my 5 years in on whatchamacallit, the 401k. That's what I was doing. I was just trying to get that time in. And then once I got the 5 years in, I was fully invested. And then that's when I said, yeah, I'm gonna leave. And I broke out. Oh man, Joe, this guy. Now I was at Washington Square Park yesterday. I mean, you can see the videos. I took the video down. I was gonna send it up. I'll tell you what happened. Outside of Washington Square Park, they had a small event going on. And I didn't know it was just for kids. So I'm walking. I said, oh, I see something. I mean, anything, you know, Halloween related. I was gonna check it out. So I walk in, and this guy is security. I'm just walking, doing the video like I was doing. And I walked out of Washington Square Park, and they had closed the street off. So the guy goes, he eventually walks up to me. He said, you have any kids here? I said, no. He said, well, you gotta leave because such and such, this is a thing for the kids. All right. Now I'm getting ready to turn around to go back to the park, and what he does, he hits my damn gimbal. Lucky it didn't fall out my hand, because then it would have been a scuffle. I'm glad that didn't happen. I said, yo, what you do that for? He said, you was about to aim the camera at me. I said, no, I wasn't. I said, I was trying to turn around so I can leave. He said, you was trying to film me. Yo, it was about to escalate after that. And I had to say it again. Look, I'm trying to leave. And eventually he realized I wasn't joking. And then once I got out that area and I got close to the park, I just deleted the video, period. You know, I don't want to hear nothing about nothing. Yeah, man, but that's what happened. He hit the damn, he didn't hit it hard enough where he knocked it down out and where it could hit the ground, but I felt it go down. Like I said, I was turning around to leave, and there was a black dude. Like I tell you, man, the attitudes. I don't know. Just to show you. That's me, man. This is me. So you're not hearing it from anybody else but me. Yeah. I could have easily been a scene over nothing.
So apparently I had racked up $8.
Yeah, the siren, but I don't see nothing.
They say it's not there. They was like, oh, they was like,
But like I always said, you know, people trip out about cameras. I'm like, you're on film every day. Every time you step out your house. Once you hit the train stations, you go into the corner store, you're on video. There's a lot of cameras around New York City. I heard London, I said it before once, London has even more than New York. So they said. You know, they always updating these things. Man, I keep hearing this damn siren, but I don't see nothing. It's probably stuck in traffic. I don't see any traffic either. It must be like 2 blocks away. Here's another one. I'll take that over music any day. Maybe that's the same vehicle. It's an ambulance. Beyond the Matrix, thank you for the $19.99. Greatly appreciated. Definitely greatly appreciated. Wow. It is nice outside. It's all comfortable. 66 degrees. It's pretty comfortable. But I still dress the same, like a little bit warmer. I'll just open the jacket up and take the hat off if I have to. See, when the weather gets cold, now for me, the only thing you really got going when it's cold is places like Central Park, like to go sledding, ice skating, you know, stuff like that. Snowboarding. And I don't do any of that stuff. I did it when I was a kid. I did the sledding and did the ice skating at Central Park. That type of stuff. But you know, when you get older, man, it's like, I ain't gonna do that. It's freezing outside. I mean, you could build up a sweat doing that, like skiing and snowboarding and whatnot. You can get hot doing it, but don't stop. As soon as you stop, at least for me, I'll start freezing up. Summertime, man, people don't know, man. It's summertime here. It's probably the best time to come to New York because there's so many things to do. Like, events is like insane. So many events happen. Like, I was sending my brother and all my friends, I said this before, for like 3 years. And man, these guys wasn't showing up. And I was blowing their phones up like with text messages of all the places to go. Can't wait till this guy get by. And I mean, I had events. Of course, it's before the whatchamacallit. Yeah, that's Lincoln Center. This is way before COVID. And yeah, man, there was an event like in the summertime. Pretty much every day that the events that I was sending them to was free, so they didn't have to pay for anything.
It doesn't open till 5.
Oh. After the 3rd year of sending them stuff all the time, I was like, man, I ain't sending these guys nothing. I'm up here wearing my thumbs down. Trying to show these guys something to do. They're not even going anyway. And then when I stopped sending it, it was like, well, one of them said, Al, why you stop sending the texts? I said, y'all don't go. I don't never see y'all at anything. And I couldn't make all of them because they was during the week and the weekends. I can make it on the weekends, but during the week, everybody's not working, you know, at the same time. So some people get those weekdays off, and they still didn't go. And like I said, all of these are free events that I know places they will want, you know, I wouldn't say the places they would want to go for sure, you know, but the acts that was performing, they was old, they was new. So I go to all kinds of stuff. I don't just go to, well, you can tell from the events I've been going to, the ones I can make it to, I go to almost everything. You know, especially now with social media, it's picking up more and more. You can find out about what's going on. Check this guy out. Fender bender. Almost did it. And now we're on West 63rd Street and Broadway. If you was wondering. So hopefully by next year, I don't know, maybe all of the events will be back. Because even the big events was kind of small this year. And they had the Brazilian Day. That turned out to be just a street fair. Because normally they have a big stage set up. And they have artists from Brazil and from here, like the US. And they'll do their performances and everything. And then they have the street fair like as an extension. I don't know, it didn't happen this year. They canceled they still kept it as Brazil Day, but they just had the street fair with no performers and no stage. So that's what they did this year. But some of the events that's new this year, as you can see if you look back on some of my videos, the new one was the Indian parade. So they finally got a new one this year. So it's gonna take some time for that to grow. Thank you very much, Joe. I don't even hear no water. They turned the fountain off. There's usually water running, but it's turned off. Yep, they probably shut it down so when the weather really gets cold, the pipes won't freeze. This is a cool, serene spot to hang out in. Now, see, that's one of those buildings where they said, "We're not leaving." See this brownstone with the tree in front of it? And you're like, "I'm not leaving. We're gonna stay right here." That's how it is where I'm at now, where the building I work at looks similar to this. It's small like this, and we're surrounded by Hudson Yards. So that's all, you know, big buildings, and they still building in that area. But you see how they kept this building? That is beautiful. But it's surrounded by all of these, well, modern buildings compared to what it looks like, as you can see. These buildings here probably been put up since the 70s or the 60s. The buildings over here is probably almost as old as this one. I know this is over 100 years old. Whoever owned it probably stood their ground, as in, we're not leaving. And they'll build around you. That's what they did. I seen on YouTube a few years ago, they did that in China, where the people didn't want to give up their old building. So the building is really old. I don't know how old, but it's old. And they built a whole bunch of buildings around it. So it sticks out like a sore thumb, like that building I just showed you. But that building don't stick out so much because it's off the main street, like where we at now, Broadway. That's what I mean by I like to go to those in between blocks, like cross town streets. When you do that and you get off the main streets, you see some unique stuff, but unique buildings that have different fountains and statues. That's why it's hard for me to, like, I want to leave New York. Not easy for me. I'm not a country person.
I mean it.
Like I said, I live in Staten Island, but I don't do anything out there. And the times I was doing stuff out there was when I was a kid. So I was just going from block parties to block parties, or riding my bike, that type of thing. Once I was able to work, I stopped moving around Staten Island. Started moving back around in Manhattan, because this is where I was born and raised.
take a top off picture or something, you know, you take a course. You know what that means? You know what you get for that?
No. Around what time did you move, Joe? Like what era? You moved around the 80s, the 90s, 2000s? Right. Like quite a few people I knew who moved some during the 80s and some during the 90s. Oh, you moved around 2001. Okay. Yeah, but you left when New York was improving. That's so wild. You moved when it was... Oh, a week before the World Trade. Okay. Yeah, it was improving by then. Trump International. You're a Trump man. This is one of his buildings. I think I told this story before. Now this is the building you will want to walk in. I used to have to work on a fish tank in there, and it was hanging from the ceiling. That guy, I think he had the whole floor. You get off, everything's marble. And I mean the walls are marble, the floors are marble. The place was insane. It was big too. But I don't think I ever met the owner. I just met the housekeeper. And forgot what floor he was on. He had a saltwater tank where you can view it from both sides. And let me get away from this real quick. Excuse me. I have to get away from that music. Yeah, but those buildings, man, they are nice. I've been in there like years. Oh, okay, Joe. But most of the people I was saying that moved during that time, like some during the 80s and some during the 90s when the New York started improving. The time you moved, that's when people started coming back. Still coming back. But you know, back then crime was insane. I was watching this guy on TikTok and he was saying London really got bad now. He said the affluent areas fine, like those big caution signs that you see like construction sites put up, and it says, you know, don't go here, don't do this or that. He said the sign says do not wear watches, like wristwatches, regular wristwatches, not even whatchamacallit, like the digital ones, you know, like Apple. He said they don't even approach you or say give me the watch. He said they stab you and then they take the watch. I'm like, man, people is losing it. That's what he said. You know, 90s. Insane. I'm glad it's not like that, even with absolutely nothing compared to it. Don't want those times to come back, that's for sure. Signal, so I'm guessing you're experiencing the buffering going on. Try to get out this area. You don't get to see too many ladies chauffeuring them horses around. One of the things that I thought was coming back, but it didn't, was the pushing people on the train tracks. Man, that was insane back in the 80s. That's what I was telling you about when Reagan was in office. He was doing all those budget cuts, and he was shutting all of those mental institutions down. That's what he did, and during the 80s. Yeah, the buffering, yeah. I'll try to get out of that area. There's a guy, he's not too well in the head. I'm trying to stay away from him. You know, not everybody's sane. Yeah, but those days, man, pushing people on the train tracks, that was a thing. And Joe, I don't know if you remember when, like, what the hell? And then the cabbies, they was dying almost every week. Liveries. Man, New York is much safer. Much safer. We just left Columbus Circle. I meant to say that when I was in the area. I was busy talking about other stuff. So people, if you haven't already, do this pretty much almost every day. I walk the streets of New York right after work. Basically, that's what this does. That's what I'm talking about getting. I don't know. I gotta see how, because you know we're in one. First it was COVID. I said I ain't gonna buy anything until see how that runs out. Now we're in a recession that's gonna be building up. We're gonna probably peak up until next year. So I wanna see how that runs. And then maybe I'll get one of those unicycles. or on another electric skateboard so I can get around. The two that I have, they're the same thing. Booster board. And it's funny, right around the time when Trump made something about the taxes, if you have your stuff manufactured overseas, you have to pay a bigger tax. And that wiped that company out. They had to pay like $75 million in taxes. So they wound up selling the company. So they lost their money to the tax man. Crossing the street, I'm trying to duck the scaffolding and get a shot of these buildings. Yeah, you thought I would have been an architect? Nah. Sitting at the table drawing all day. If anything, I would have probably been drawing Looney Tunes or something. Oh man. West 56th Street and Broadway. Yeah, man, crack changed everything. Like when I was a kid, 14, 15 years old, 13 and whatnot. Kids didn't sell drugs. When you was that young, you went outside and played. When the 80s kicked in, and that crack took over, that was it. That changed everything. You had kids selling drugs. I was like, what? And then the guns started picking up. That's something teenagers ain't really had no hands on, like 13 and 12 or whatever. But during that time, that's when the guns, they went from the Saturday night special that they had in the 60s and 70s. Like a revolver, Saturday night special. It's all black, long nose, some are snub nose. And man, the dogs went from, common dog back then was a German Shepherd or a Doberman Pinscher in the 70s. And some of the 60s, late 60s. People stopped buying those dogs. They started buying, the drug dealers started buying pit bulls. That's when the pit bulls got a bad rep, even though they're pretty much the most obedient dog you can get. And people stopped buying the whatchamacallit, the 38s, the Saturday night specials, to machine guns. It was like insane. Thought you was in Beirut. New York was insane. My block was insane. My block don't sound nothing like that anymore. Gunshots all the time. Them days is gone. It's almost like a little workout. I'm starting to sweat. All this twirling around. I don't believe it. Yeah, almost every and then the cops, they wanted to They was saying they want the same thing that the drug, but they never got it. You know, it never happened. They was pushing for it, but it didn't happen. They just got they went from the 38, the revolver, and they gave them the, whatchamacallit, the 9mm. That's what they had gotten. The city wasn't trusting them with no machine guns. Come on. The cops is dying like left and right because of these guys weren't scared of the cops at all. Especially when you got, where you can just wave it and hold the trigger down and hit something. And these guys got a revolver or pistol. Machine gun gonna win. These guys have banana clips and everything. Ed Sullivan Theater. A really good show. If you know who Ed Sullivan is. He's before my time anyway. I got to see a little bit of his shows when they used to air them. Just like the Honeymooners is before me. But they used to do the reruns. Yeah, man, the gold chains. That was another thing. People was losing their life over gold chains. I was like, no way. I had a necklace, but I didn't have no big rope chain. I was never into I like seeing, you know how you like seeing other people with stuff, but you would never do it? That's how I was. I like to see other people with it, like Run DMC and all of that, but I was never gonna buy it. No way. But now, I mean, it's not happening here like in New York, but California, man, they killing people for them rappers. They killing rappers left and right. I don't know any of them. I don't follow the music like that anymore. I've been stopped. You know, rap got it did get corny. I don't follow it like that anymore. I hear what I hear and that's it. I don't surf the stations looking for it. All of it's on Pluto TV. Okay. I don't have a television. That's another thing. Got in the computer. So after a while, I was like, man, this TV just sitting here. It must have sat in my house for like 3 or 4 years, and I just said, let me get rid of it. That's what I did with my video games. Sat in the house for like 3 years. I wasn't using it. Sold it. That was a PlayStation, rather. But like every era, you're gonna have the good and the bad, man. You know, every era has it. I'm sure if you speak to somebody who's damn near 100 years old, they'll tell you the 1920s was a great time, you know. And somebody has to tell you, no, well, remember when this and that was happening, you know. Like even now, I gotta cross the street. Like even now, you got some great things going on, and And some things are not so great. So when people say things are not what they used to be, you don't want it all. That's for sure. You don't want it all. You don't want the time machine to go back and actually relive everything like that. At least the stuff that affect you, you probably wouldn't feel it. When you're a kid, you have no bills to pay. So mother used to say, you know, for her time, back in the 40s, I think it was, candy was cheaper. She said, yeah, you drop a nickel, you can get a whole bag of candy. You know, you get like 50 pieces of candy or something like that. And then she said the bars used to be bigger, like as in candy bars, like the chocolate bars. Like, let's say if it's Milky Way or something. You say, oh, that bar used to be bigger than that. Look at it now. And they still do stuff like that. I think they give you more of a choice now. Because, I mean, you can buy a bar. Let's just say if it's Three Musketeers, you can get a regular size bar. And you can get a big one also. So, they call it big something or whatever. Caroline's. I may have to walk out in the street. Guys flying on those bicycles, man. I know the feeling because I used to do the same thing. Ride fast. But there's a lot more bicycles on the road now than before because of all the electric bikes. So a lot of these guys ain't got a pedal or anything. They just hit a button and it's going. Oh yeah, definitely talking to more like the 70s. $0.35 for a train, well, a token at that time. Sometimes I wish I kept my tokens. At least a few I should have kept. I could have made them things into buttons. We're emerging upon Times Square. Let's turn. Somebody turn off another block. If I hear music, I'm trying to duck it. Do y'all hear that? Let me know if you hear it. I'm trying to get away from it. People looking at me like, what is he talking to his phone for? What's that stick you got in your hand? Cracks me up sometimes. I know y'all experiencing some buffering going on. I'm 57, so I don't go back but so far, as in taking the trains and whatnot. So I left Harlem around, I left in 76. I lived in pretty much every borough except Brooklyn. Yeah, but I want to get rid of the buffering. I gotta find out how to do it. I was talking to Fernando one time. He was showing me this guy that was, but the guy was working, like what we were doing. Saying this guy gets no buffering. I was like, what? I didn't get to ask him any questions. So like I said, he was doing his thing. And he's asking us questions about food. I don't be eating all that McDonald's and whatnot. Too tough anyway. I haven't been in the Bronx in a long time. Block I used to live on, I'm pretty sure ain't nobody there anyway. Same thing, all my neighborhoods, except the neighborhood I'm in now. I still know everybody, but all the previous neighborhoods, I probably know my old neighborhood, and that's it. Times Square. It's still nice out, so that's why you see people, so many people. I can move around. There's no whatchamacallits, break dances. No, sorry. How did that go, Joe? Being a counselor. Man, you must have seen everybody's during that time. I got two friends that one is a girl I used to talk to. She became a counselor because she was on the drugs. Another friend of mine, that is no joke, man. I ever wonder what happened. Did they stop teaching kids about drugs in school? Because I know when I was in school, When I was living in Harlem, we had a school teacher. His name was Mr. Hawkins. He's the only teacher I remember his name, his face. He reminds me of, what's that guy? Oh boy, Don Cornelius of Soul Train. And his thing was, he would teach us black history and whatnot. But then, I think I told this before also, he used to come into class with one of those silver briefcases that you lock on the sides. And this guy had drugs like you wouldn't believe. There was a white board, and then it had plastic, like a hard plastic, going over all of the drugs. And plus he had 8x10 photos of what it does to your lungs, what it does to your you know, your lungs, your kidneys. He had all the organs, what it does to you. Man, that was insane. I was like, what? No way, man. Everybody want to be cool. But I mean, still, you can tell people all of that stuff, they're still gonna do it, you know. So people always say education, education. Man, if people want to do it, they're gonna do it, you know. You know, so it's not the education, it's more of attitude of the person. That's what it comes down to, really. Because how many gangster movies you've seen in your lifetime? And what you see? What happens to the gangster? It usually ends the same way. They die, and people still do it. So that's what it all comes down to. You know, you can educate a person to death. That doesn't mean they're gonna go the right route. Most people always think it ain't gonna happen to me. You know, that's usually the attitude. I don't know what she's doing. I remember this girl. This is when I was in junior high school. Yo, she's from, I don't know if she was exactly from India, but she spoke English well. But her family had her with those, I think they call them tarot cards. And man, you talk about something coming to truth. This is what happened. She was reading people's palms, because I don't think she had the cards at the time. So all of the kids was like, read my hand, like that. And one guy, she didn't even know the guy. He was smart, but he was a troublemaker. I ain't gonna say his name. He was like a troublemaker, you know, so-called tough guy, whatever you want to say. This is junior high school, so we're talking 7th to the 9th grade. And she read his hand. She said some other stuff, but I'm gonna get to the point. She said, "You're going to jail." Yo, everybody laughed so hard. I was like, what? And yo, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. He went to jail. Not right away, but years later, he went to jail. And like I said, she didn't know him at all. She didn't know nothing about him. You know, I think she was like, I think we was in the 7th grade or something like that. Whatever. Everybody busted out laughing on that one. I don't know if I don't know how people can read palms and all of that. But there must be some truth to that. Oh, there we go. Break dancers here, but they're across the street. That's why I'm crossing, trying to duck the music. Surprised this phone is holding up. It wasn't holding up yesterday. Neither was the other phone though. Once again, if you're new to this channel, like and subscribe to this channel, because I do this pretty much almost every day. I do walking tours of New York City. And on my shorts videos, like if you go see my short videos, I do videos of the train, buses, boats, basically the transportation of New York, the streets. And I do videos from skyscrapers. Definitely check my channel out. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can also support this channel through Super Thanks, Super Chat. You'll see a heart with an S in the middle. You can support the channel that way. Or just watch. That's support. Alright. Yeah, no break dances. What? So there's only one set of guys doing break dancing.
Solamente hay que
Hello, Tyler. I do that sometimes. I'll point it outside the train, like on the window, just to show the speed of the train. I mean, there's absolutely no wind at all today. It's unbelievable. It's been like this for the past few days. And what was so weird was the summer was windy for some reason. The whole summer was like big wind. Good thing it's not windy. Hello, loco.
Aqui, Stefano, Vânia.
A sample here. That's the reason you come here.
Keeping the costumes, think everybody with a camera is a tourist. Joe, you see a blurry screen sometimes?
Okay. If you want to.
Okay, people. Oh, okay. Okay, people, this is where it ends. Hope to be out tomorrow. I think, like I said, this whole week's supposed to be pretty decent like today. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe to this channel. This is a walking channel of New York City. And I do this pretty much every day. But definitely like and subscribe. Thanks, Matrix, for your donation. Greatly appreciate people for watching. Wish I could say something like Batman. Same bat time, same bat channel and all of that. All right, people. It's all true. Thank you. And thanks again, Joe. For those who subscribed today and watched. Y'all have a good day for some. For others, a good night. Hope to see you tomorrow. Watch out for my shorts videos. Pretty much showing those almost every day if I can. Even if I don't get to do a long form video, I try to get the shorts in. Y'all take it easy. All right.